Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your college basketball Fade the Public video for this Friday, March the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. You know what? I'm not wearing green. You can pinch me. Give me a virtual pinch. I will be wearing green on Friday when I watch the game. So I'm doing this video a little early, so it's still Thursday the 16th technically. But I wanted to get some public information for you real quick hitter fashion for the Friday games. We did a Thursday video, gave you the Thursday games, gave you some bracket picks and recommendation strategies there, if you will. But I told you I'd be back for a bonus call here on Friday, so I'm knocking this out real quick before we do the college basketball show, and I want to give you some insight here. By the way, I will be back on Friday afternoon for the college basketball show. I'm subbing on Thursday, going to be back as well on Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern, so check that out for some more insight on the Friday games. But let's quickly look at these Friday games. There's some interesting public information, and I'm glad I did two videos because, going in, when I did the Thursday video, we didn't have the results of the Wednesday games yet. And Fairleigh Dickinson, the lowest power-rated team in the entire tournament, wins in the 16-round game. And they now play Purdue. And this one's interesting for a couple reasons. The public always remembers what they saw most recently. And at least initially, it looks like FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson's a bit of a public dog against Purdue. And I find this comical because, yes, they won easily on Wednesday night against an inferior, number 16 seed, Texas Southern. Producer Robert over at NBA and college basketball shows, don't take offense to that. It is what it is. But Fairleigh Dickinson is the shortest team in all of Division I college basketball. 363 teams, and their average height is just 6'1". And guess who they play now? They play Purdue and 7'4" superstar Zach Edey. Yet the public is on FDU getting over 20 points. We'll see how that one plays out, but I had to mention that this is something we didn't have info on yesterday. That's why I wanted to do a bonus video here. Currently, by the way, it looks like about 23. It opened 24.5. It's down to plus 23. That game goes at 6:50 Eastern on Friday night. Let's look at some big public favorites here on Friday from what I'm seeing. Gonzaga's looking pretty public in Memphis. Those are the two most public favorites for Friday. And once again, not a surprise. The public remembers what they've seen most recently. Memphis upsets one of the best teams in the country, Houston, who might have been the number one overall seed had they not lost. Bama gets it instead. Memphis, meanwhile, open -2. It's right around 1.5, 2 now. Public looks pretty heavy on Memphis. They don't want anything to do with Florida Atlantic. And it's interesting because if you remember yesterday in the first video, I talked about the least favorite teams in the ESPN Bracket Challenge. And the two lowest single-digit teams as far as to win the national title, where I think Northwestern was one I mentioned, but the other one was Florida Atlantic. So I think that's another reason. It's because the public likes Memphis. So keep an eye on that game. Memphis is looking pretty public. And I mentioned Gonzaga. The Gonzaga game goes at 7:30 Eastern on Friday. Zags open 15.5 current line. That's one of the most public sides here. I don't think the public knows much about Grand Canyon. Don't disrespect the Antelopes. How dare you? Dan Marley was the first coach there, if I'm not mistaken. So I've always had a soft spot for Grand Canyon. But Gonzaga had that blowout win of St. Mary's over a week ago, another high-profile conference final. So not a surprise that the public is on Memphis and Gonzaga. Those are the two most public favorites. And once again, as public dogs, FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson getting some love, even though they got the huge height mismatch coming into that game. Let's look at some other public dogs. For Friday, I saw a little bit of sentiment on VCU. Virginia Commonwealth is looking like one of the most public dogs on Friday. They opened +5. It's been bet down to 4.5 against St. Mary's. And once again, that's, I think, a reason because St. Mary's got blown out by Gonzaga in a recent conference final. So the public, once again, likes Gonzaga, yet is fading St. Mary's. I don't think that's a coincidence. That game is at 2 o'clock Eastern on Friday. And just scanning my notes here real quick to try to find some other public information for you. Saw a little bit of public sentiment in some spots on Santa Barbara in the game against Baylor. Other spots are kind of neutral, so not as much so there. I would say Fairleigh Dickinson and VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, are two of the more public dogs that I've seen so far for the games on Friday. And one other one I want to mention as well is Kent State. Seen some public sentiment on Kent State as well. That line opened 5.5. It's down to 4.5. So I'd say Fairleigh Dickinson, and the Kent State game, by the way, is the late game at 10 o'clock Eastern Friday night. So you got some time to see where that one settles. But as of now, it's looking like Kent State's going to come in as fairly public as well in that game. And one other game has a little bit of a public lean, not as much as the first three, but a little bit of a public dog lean on Pittsburgh as well at 3 o'clock Eastern on Friday afternoon. That line's actually gone higher. Iowa State opened 3.5. It's up to 4.5. Pitt, of course, was one of those first four winners, and we've seen an 11 seed do it a year in and year out, so it'd be either Pittsburgh or Arizona State this year. Almost every year, one of those teams does win this round of 64 game, Most of them make it to the second weekend. In fact, VCU a decade ago when they started this format made it all the way to the Final Four. I think that was 2011. So I can understand why the public is leaning towards Pitt after that first 4 win. And once again, another situation where they've seen a team win most recently. So those are 4 public dogs for you to keep an eye on. Fairleigh, Dickinson, Kent State, and also VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. Probably the 3 most public dogs I've seen here for Friday. And then, of course, also a little bit of a public lean on Pittsburgh. Those lines haven't been out quite as long, so we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it becomes more public when it tips off on Friday afternoon. Once again, the 2 most public favorites, Memphis and Gonzaga, definitely getting some public support as well. So there's 6 games, quick hitter fashion for you for this Friday, March the 17th. I will have Green on when I'm on the college basketball shows Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern here on the network. I'll also be on the NBA show at 4:15 Eastern Friday night. Don't forget about the NBA. Some money to be made in the NBA this time of year as well. Don't sleep on the association during March Madness. By the way, I do still have a special promo code if you missed it on Thursday. If you haven't gotten on board yet, shame on you. Get some best bets. I had 5 best bets on Thursday alone. I have a ton lined up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a great time to try a 7-day all-access pass. You can get just the NBA, get just college if you want March Madness, or do the all-access, get both college and pro combined. No matter what you choose, you get an instant $25 discount with promo code BRACKET25. 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 Select any 7-day package, whether it's college, pro, or college and pro combined in all access, and you get BRACKET25 at checkout. Use that promo code. You get an instant $25 discount. So whether you want just the NBA, just college hoops, which I know many of you will probably choose, nothing wrong with that. We will have mostly college hoops plays the next few days. We'll have some NBA, though, over the weekend at the start of the week, though. So I would recommend the All Access, but College Pro or the 7-day All Access, you get an instant $25 discount with promo code BRACKET25. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. All right, I'm out of here. We'll be back with the college basketball show at 2 Eastern, Friday NBA at 4:15 Eastern. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows here on WagerTalk TV. And yet another reason to hit subscribe and hit that bell for instant alerts. So when these videos, when I make them real quick and they pop up on the channel, you'll be the first one to watch and know that they're up there. So hit the bell for instant alerts when you hit subscribe. Thumbs up if you like the video, and leave me some comments below. I love the comments. I love the support. I read every one of them and I reply back. Let me know your thoughts on these Friday games, where you agree or disagree with the public and where you see some value on the betting board. Thanks for watching. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you again soon. Don't forget, by the way, Saturday I'll be on in the 11 a.m. Eastern last call show. So if you're looking for some weekend content, we do have a weekend show every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and I'll be on this weekend as we head into the round of 32. So check that out. Last call on Saturdays. Yet another reason to hit subscribe and hit the bell for instant alerts here on WagerTalk TV. Best of luck. Enjoy the games on Friday. I'll talk to you again soon.